2.
Motion number 2, Mr. Chairman, regarding the height exception. Move to recommend to the full City Council the granting of a special council permit for Gulfport Gloucester LLC applicant, Gulfport Gloucester LLC owner, map 1 lot 33, hotel overlay district in the MI zoning classification pursuant to section 5.25.4.1 footnote F, H, by reference to section 3.16B, for height exception of 21 feet, height not to exceed 61 feet from the average existing grade as shown on site plans dated September 21, 2012, revised February 27, 2013, drawing number A0-06. My question now is that still the same drawing number?
Yes. Ms. Smith is indicating yes. That is correct? That is correct.
Thank you.
So
And I so move.
Second. Moved and seconded by Councilor Bergen. Discussion on the motion. Councilor Hardy.
Yes, the committee must find that such increase in the allowable height is consistent with the neighborhood character and will not be substantially detrimental to the neighborhood because of obstruction of view, overshadowing of other properties, impairment of utilities, or other adverse impacts. The peaked roof design is consistent with other nearby buildings such as the Tavern Restaurant and the Chamber of Commerce building. Peaked roofs are often preferred as they are in keeping with the character of our community. The hotel peaked roofs hide the building mechanicals and provide more architectural interest than that of a flat roof. Other downtown buildings have a similar height. McPherson Park, Sheedy Park, and the Armory, the Clark Building, each are 6 stories in height. Due to the combination of the amenities of a full-service hotel, including the proposed 101 rooms, meeting and function rooms, restaurant, and underground parking, the proposed height is appropriate for the proposed use. Public safety and flood protection mandate the elevation of the building as the public areas are not on the ground floor, which justifies an increase over the zoning height maximum. The committee reviewed the matter of overshadowing, focusing on shadowing study, which showed that the increased height of the building will not create further substantially detrimental overshadowing of the existing 40-foot by right height allowance in the MI district. Utilities will not be impaired by the height. Although not within this discussion, but mentioned at a P&D sidewalk, the committee would urge the applicant to work with National Grid to see if the utility poles would be able to be underground. I propose that the committee find that the proposed increase of 21 feet in height be consistent with neighborhood character and will not be substantially detrimental to the neighborhood because of obstruction of view, overshadowing, or other properties, impairment of utilities, or other adverse impacts.
Councilor Bergen.
I'm going to support this for the purpose of the public hearing, but we do have a PD shadow study, so I look forward to hearing a little more detail. We reviewed them, I reviewed them myself on my computer, but I'd like to hear from each entity.
I'd just like to remind the committee that I began the presentation based on the presentations by the applicants, their attorneys and consultants, as well as reviews by the Planning Board, Conservation Commission, and peer reviews by the city consultant. I propose that the Planning and Development Committee adopt the following findings and findings throughout the document. I agree, we haven't heard from the other side. So these motions are based on what we've already heard. And I'm sure all the city councils will open Charlie's impression and other points of view. Thank you.
I have a question for Councilor Hardy, and it is this. One of the discussion points, which again would be built into the which I assume would be built into the final decision, is the reference to National Grid being the entity from whom the applicant would seek to move the utilities underground. But National Grid isn't the only entity hanging wires down. Do we need to revise the wording here to capture that concern? So perhaps amend, well, again, this would be for purposes of the final decision, assuming there's a positive vote at the public hearing. But perhaps, and I want folks to understand that this is very deliberately a written text. folks shouldn't bellyache that it is a written text which Council Hardy is reading, because there is a legal obligation to put forward very comprehensive findings of fact, put upon the council by different zoning ordinance and zoning manual. And this would be part of the record that she has very dutifully raked into a single pile of potential adoption. That being said, I would think that maybe we want to tweak the wording of the discussion such that the committee would urge the applicant to work with National Grid and any other wire-hanging utilities to ensure that those utilities are placed on the ground.
If you've heard the discussion with Councilman Toby, it will also be incorporated in the minutes of the meeting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is this something that you're amending the motion just read?
No. No. It would just be the scope of the discussion for purposes of potential drafting or potential findings.
Thank you, that's the clarification.
And that being said, and dittoing what Councilor Berger just said, I'll be supporting this to move the conversation forward to public hearing. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it unanimously.